What's going on, world? Welcome to another show of Split the Difference podcast, where I am one half of the difference with Rocky.
And I'm Pops.
Hey, man, and again, man, we are back on it, man. The live viewers who like to watch us live, I know y'all have been seeing us MIA the last week or two. You know, we had Mother's Day, and again, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And then we just had some more things we were doing for the show to try to make the show a whole lot better for you all. And I think we got that accomplished because today we have a very hot topic, and it's been a topic in the air for some time. But we're gonna highlight it on our show and in our way today.
Yes,
And
sir.
once again, we just like to bring y'all entertainment, wrap up y'all week, with our opinions. We're not saying we're always right, but we know we give y'all good entertainment. So continue to rock with us, man, and we are coming live to you with more topics, hot topics. We got some questions in the inbox. As you know, we just like to switch it up. But before we get into, what the topic is today, I'm gonna let my pops let you know where you can find our information if you don't watch this particular show live. Where else you can find it?
You can catch us on where you if you're I don't know where you watch it from, but Facebook at Split Difference 67.
Mm-hmm.
Also on Instagram, Split Difference 67. And I
Mm-hmm.
think I got to get that Instagram handle because that's where we have a lot of people at. But I think it's Split Difference 67 Georgia, something like that. I'm gonna have to get that right because
Yeah,
I know we
we'll
have a
put
lot
it
of
in the
people on there.
description down there. So we'll just make sure everybody tune in. And once again, man, we appreciate all the people on TikTok right now.
What's up,
Facebook,
TikTok,
we see
Facebook?
Stephanie Mays out there.
Okay.
We
Your
see a
mama's on.
couple TikToks.
Miss
Yep,
Gordon
my
is on.
mother's on there. We got about three, four, five different platforms, man, that we're on. So whichever one you on,
Hey, y'all,
again, we
share
just
that
like to
live
say,
too, man. Share the
yeah,
live.
share, like, share, and
Just
comment.
go on and share it right now. Let folks know you watch it.
Right, 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 man. I see we got a couple people in TikTok, so we need some shares on there. Facebook, we need some shares on there. YouTube, just share everywhere, man. And
Yeah.
and we promise the content is definitely worth it, man. So, without further ado, man, again, like I said before we get into this, because we know that this is a
Oh
touchy
boy.
topic.
Oh boy.
This is just our opinion and our way of entertaining people on a good Sunday evening, man. And
Hmm.
and like I said, we're live on Sunday evenings at 5 o'clock. So if you're not watching it, that's why I say Sunday, because that's when we like to go live. If you would ever like to catch us live. So with that being said, Pop, let's go ahead and kind of get into what we got going on today.
Hey man, we think you know what I'm gonna do next. We might have a. Let me talk about next week because we might have a special guest come in next week. We got a
Okay.
guy that we've been back and forth with email. A young guy that was shot. Was it 11 times? I think.
When they said 11,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we might have a different set. We might try to get him in the studio. I think that'll be a interesting show
Yeah.
to talk about that, especially with these young folks, the YNs or whatever they call. But hey,
Mhm.
man, we're glad we got a topic. I know Rich loved this topic because he get heated about it.
We get
Man, I
heated.
wish I wish uh
Just people need to speak facts.
I wish Mike John was on today because this would be right down his alley.
Yep.
But what we're gonna talk a little bit about, we're gonna talk about the church a little bit today.
All right. All right.
Let me say first of all, I love the church. And I'm careful of what I say about the church because I grew up in the time where you just didn't talk about the church. You
Right.
didn't say nothing negative about it. So we're not talking about
Well,
the
there
church. We're
wasn't
gonna talk
too much
about
foolishness going on
right,
to talk
right.
about
We're
back
gonna
then
talk
either.
about basically some of the stuff that's going on in the church. And our podcast is talk about the younger generation, which Rich ain't really in the younger generation now. He's
Yeah, I'm
kind of
I'm
in
mid
mid grade,
between,
so he
yeah.
wouldn't be considered a YN. He's an old N. Uh, I'm an OG. He's an old N. But here we go, man. I got. We usually read one letter, but I got three. But I think I'm gonna start, Rich, with this one because it's kind of general uh, topic of what everything else we're gonna talk about is based around. Y'all, we ain't been here in 3 weeks. Y'all know Rich Rocky is also a trainer. He got Rich Fit. So, I got to find me somebody else to work with when he started doing it because he takes all of the production team and everybody with him to go do his what is
Well,
bands
it'd
what
be
is it?
after this. It'd be after,
Yeah, but y'all had to set up what is it?
baddies and bands for right now. Yeah.
Bands and baddies. So y'all go where they can find that at?
You can go to my Instagram, Rich underscore Rocky. That's my personal Instagram, not to split the difference, but Rich underscore Rocky. You can see all about it.
That's him. And
See
then,
all about
hey,
it.
and what I do is t-shirts and all that type of stuff. So if you need
Yeah.
something like that, let me know or hit us up. My production man got his own lawn care service. So if you need some lawn care,
Yeah.
hit us up. We right here in Conyers. We'll get you taken care of. I
Yeah.
don't leave Conyers, but my lawn man, he'll go anywhere.
Yeah.
So give him a call. I ain't going there. He'll meet you.
Malone.
He'll go there. He'll go there. That's our production guy. That's why he run the production now. So all right, let's get into it. You ready? Y'all
Yep,
ready
I'm
for
ready.
it?
Yes, sir.
So we said we're talking about church. So I'm gonna read this first letter we can't
All right.
get in because that'll like open it up before I go to the other ones. I can put my specs on here. Okay, they'll split the difference. I can't believe some of the stuff I see going on in church today. Back in the day, old school church felt different. Folks came in with reverence. Mothers of the church will humble you with one look. I remember that. Deacons stood on business.
Mm-hmm.
Choir sang like they were trying to move heaven, not go viral. People came to the altar for breakthrough, not attention. Now, sometimes it feels like church done turned into a whole production. I totally agree. Today, it's designer outfits over devotion, social media clips over sincerity, money lines that feel longer than the prayer lines, and more focus on appearance than actual accountability. Old school church said, "Come as you are, but respect God's house." Now, sometimes it feels like, "Come however, just make sure the camera catch it." Back then, the praise team was now let me see. Back then, if the praise team was out of order, somebody pulled them aside. If the leader was off, the church felt it. There was structure. Now it seems like people can do almost anything as long as they're talented, connected, or bringing in money. I'm not saying old school church was perfect, but I felt like there was more fear of God and less performance. So what happened? Did church evolve or did we start losing the standard? And we talked about that a little bit. And Rocky, I know you kind of like this subject. You One thing I can say, you had a chance to live. I would say both of them
Mm-hmm.
because you know, like I said, I love the church. I think when I left my mother's womb, the first place we probably stopped was the church. That's how long I've been going to church. Uh, what do you see happening, man? What do you think is going on? Because the writers, a few things they were saying, they feel like it's a big production.
Yeah, it definitely is, and that's why a lot of people was mad at Juicy because he told the truth. It was a big production about what's going on. It's who got the biggest lights, who got the biggest screens, and all that, and they drawing people in by that. And really, they ain't talking about nothing at the church. Nothing's going on, but a production. So
So
that's what
so
I
when,
think.
and I get why you say that because I kind of feel the same thing. There is a lot of production, but like I said
Hmm.
when we talked about this once before, or when somebody else wrote it, there's still some churches out there that are doing it bad. But you know what? I think they're doing production because they're trying to draw the young generations won't go if it ain't a production. The first thing they'll say is boring. The young generation don't really get into what we consider
Well, the
when I was
real
growing up
churches
as
ain't supposed to
regular church.
change because of the younger people,
I agree. I agree.
right?
But there are some churches you just ain't gonna go to because you figure they're boring, right? You ever been to a church that you just a preacher is really doing the old school way, but they ain't saying nothing.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I
So
guess that just depends.
could it be like it's almost like what they call a catch 22? You're darn if you do and darn if you don't, because if you don't, if you continue to do the same way, you end up closing your doors and not growing.
I mean, but even the churches with the big lights and the big stages, you can tell some of them seem a little bit more realer than others. Some of them do have, something more behind it, that you should be getting out of a church than just the production. It's just more times than not when you see it, it's just a big show. But like you said, there are some that uh does come with a little bit more than just the show or theatrics of church. But more times than not these days is a lot of them are show, and that's why a lot of them are just so money hungry because it takes a lot of money to keep the show going.
Eddie Allen Jr. What's up, Mr. Eddie? Good to see you online,
Yes,
man.
sir.
So are you saying they out of line and they money hungry?
Yeah, I believe some of them are money hungry
But let
because a
me
lot of these churches don't have to do it. Why do you need 4 and 5 LED screens
who
and all that stuff?
well to defend some of the churches that have that is because the now generation is more visual. They're more
Okay.
visual. They are attracted to anything you see, and if it looks good, you remember what you saw because it looked good. We got a church here in Conyers. I don't go there, but I think it's a good church. Reverend Lee. A good buddy of ours, Tyreek Levitt, installed a whole system that I've heard about. I've seen it. That really looks good.
Yeah, but I'm not specifically speaking about, yeah, that church, but I'm
No, I'm
saying
saying, but what's
you
wrong with
see,
putting the high tech stuff in the church?
all right, that's fine, but why do we go to church? Is it for the high tech or to actually get something?
But
And
what?
and we're not speaking on
I get
that
it, but what
specific church.
I think,
I'm just saying in
but
general.
if your church can do it, and what I do, the little bit that I know, I didn't hear no begging the congregation to do it.
See, that's my
They
thing.
were
I
just
think that's
able to
where
do it,
I think that's where
and
it
I
get
don't think
me
it
at
was
when you
nothing
beg.
enhancing what they had.
Yeah.
It looks good from what I hear.
Maybe
It
my
looks great.
problem is when they beg for that
Yeah, you
stuff.
got folks that
I
beg.
think that's when my issue come in, is when they start begging and asking for it. But I'll let you go, because
Okay.
yeah.
Because that's where we're going. That's where we're gonna start. Now I think I'm gonna now I've read this letter to just give you an overview, but now I'm gonna get into some of the meat and potatoes that I think is gonna get a little sticky here of some of the other notes, because all these notes that we have letters came in talking about church. Let me see which one I want to do first.
I see Stephanie put a comment before we go into that
Go ahead,
next letter.
read that comment. Let me find my next letter here.
It's okay. It's okay to have modern technology, but that shouldn't overshadow the word.
Okay. Anything on YouTube? That's true, Stephanie. That's true.
Anybody got to come in? See, it's finna get a little sticky, y'all. Don't go nowhere, because this way it's finna get good. I think from over reading the letters.
Read that poll right there before we go into the next one, because it's
How,
pretty long.
how many of the churches and pastors are giving and working for the cause like this black church was doing during the civil rights movement?
That's what he said.
Read that again for me. I couldn't hear, and let me hear
How,
you on the speaker. I couldn't really hear it.
how many how many of the churches and pastors are going and working for the cause like the black church was doing during the civil rights movement?
And you know what? Who that comment?
Mark Anthony Poe, yes, sir.
Mark Anthony Poe. You're absolutely right. But listen, Mark Anthony Poe.
That's
I
it,
know
right.
one person that I like to watch that is doing that. But when he do it, everybody talk about it.
Oh, this will be good, because I don't know. I think Mr.
Everybody
Poe,
talk about it.
I think Mr. Poe got an opposite view of this guy. I know who you been finna say, so this will be good. I know you
I
finna say
like when come on, man.
Jamal Bryant, right?
Jamal Bryant
Yeah.
Harrison. I like when he do it,
I think Mr. Poe
but
think
but
opposite.
everybody get mad at him when he do it. Martin Luther King did it.
Yeah,
They
because
didn't
he
get mad at Martin Luther King.
well, see, Martin Luther King then
Now
he
listen,
didn't let up either. Now Jamal Bryant,
Jamal ain't letting up.
they said he let up off the thing of Target. And I think that's where a lot
When
of black people
when he
is
felt,
getting them thing now.
wait a minute, it's not a point of letting up. When Martin Luther King, when they did the bus thing, when they accomplished what they set to accomplish, they move on to the next. Ain't no sense to keep harping on the same thing.
Well,
With the
nothing
Target,
really got
he had a
accomplished.
set out thing, that a list of demands that they wanted to see, and they pretty much got them.
All right.
So there's no sense for him saying that. But Mr. Mark Anthony, I agree. But I'm saying when Jamal Harrison Bryant, that I listen to on Sunday, I like him, like what he's saying. Uh, don't agree with everything, but I like most of what's going on there. I like what that church is doing with the community. They're getting ready to build houses for everybody. And but when he does, when you try to, and so a lot of people have what they saying the church is getting too political, which
That's
I
true.
do think they really getting a whole lot of political. I remember when there was times when you couldn't. I don't care if you were running, you didn't bring that inside of the church. Did somebody say something I need to catch?
I think Mr. Poe said something
What did he say?
according to Mr. Jamal.
I do believe that Pastor Bryant is doing better than his current counterparts.
Yes, he really is. He
He
really is,
is.
and he take a lot of flack for it.
He do.
He,
Yeah.
he take a lot of flack.
I give him that.
Brother, he's flashy, but I'm saying if you can be flashy and helping folk, that's okay. You know what I'm saying? I remember the time when he wanted to raise that money, they was trying to do something, but when stuff got rough, he said, "Hold on, y'all. We're not gonna take up the money. We want to pay for the church, but I need y'all to take care of yourself first." And that's how you know what I'm saying? You hear preachers ask for money, and I believe in that. But if I was a pastor, I would say, first of all, I think God wants you to make sure your family is taken care of,
Yeah.
and then just come on to the church. I ain't asking you, but this is where it's finna get wrong. Let me read this. Let me read this letter right here, because this what's gonna help us. It's gonna get sticky. Y'all better stick around. I mean, it's finna get downright
yes.
nasty sticky.
Mike John and Mr. Poe in here.
Hey,
Yeah.
Mike John, I was waiting on you. It's finna get
Yeah, go
downright
ahead,
sticky.
go
Mike
ahead.
John,
Let's
we
finish
talking
it.
about the church. Okay, this is another letter that we had today. Oh my God. Here we go. Dear Split the Difference. Today I went to church ready to worship, celebrate, and honor God. It was my pastor's birthday Sunday. and I already came prepared to give. I gladly paid my tithes, $200, because that's what's on my heart and what I could do. But after the guest preacher finished delivering a powerful message, instead of ending the word, he immediately shifted gears and started asking everyone to give $650 because my pastor was turning 65. Wow. And honestly, that did not sit right with me. I had already given what I could, but suddenly the atmosphere changed. It went from worship to pressure. Like if I if I didn't have $650, somehow my love, faith, and appreciation wasn't enough. I started feeling bad, embarrassed, even not because I didn't want to give, but because I simply didn't have it. So now I'm wrestling with this. When does honoring your pastor cross into guilt tripping the congregation? Is giving still the heart of pressure? Is giving still from the heart if pressure is attached? And why do some people sometimes make church feel like you can't give? If you can't give big, then you have small faith. I love blessing people. I love giving, but today it felt different. Am I wrong for feeling some type of way about it? No, you're not wrong. Because I'm tired. I'm tired of these. You know, we talk about splitting different, but I don't had enough of these preachers. You don't preach a dynamic message, and I know who you are because I heard it. You preach a dynamic message, got people up and shouting around. It's the pastor's birthday, and then immediately after you go into, can I
Yep.
have an offering? Stop playing these games.
That's
Stop playing these games. People giving their tithe. Now, who in a regular congregation got $650 just laying around?
Yep. And that's right, Mr. Poe. That's why people stop going to church. You don't want to get begged for money every time you go to church when you got real life stuff going on, and give to somebody you clearly see is doing well financially. I'm not gonna continue to come giving to you.
But do we?
And we know that
But
money.
it's stop.
We know where the money going.
Stop going to church.
Let's
It's-
be
it's-
honest.
it's-
Half these churches, the mega churches, are already gonna be good or paid
It
off
ain't just mega
good.
churches.
So the money they get from these other people are going to the
It,
pastor.
it ain't just mega churches. I know some little churches.
Yeah. It ain't mega church. Yeah.
But you know what? I hear a lot of musicians and all complaining about the mega church pastors, but at the same time, they in the pocket. So the pastors got to beg. Musicians, you can't find a piano player won't come and play at a little country church for $300 a Sunday. Nigga, you ain't playing nothing but 2 songs. I remember when me and my producers in the 80s, 90s, when we were playing for church, I remember playing drums and I was good in this area. And I made $15 a Sunday. And guess what? Was happy. When they took it to 25, I really thought I was doing something. Ain't nobody gonna go sit nowhere now for $25.
Well, when the
Because we really
musicians,
love the Lord.
when the musicians see what's going on in the church, y'all can upgrade this, upgrade that. Y'all can do this, do that.
Oh, let them keep talking. I got something for him. Keep going.
I'm not, if I'm not mistaken, the Bible even say pay the musicians, right? It say pay the musicians.
Well, it doesn't say. I think a music is everybody's worthy of their highs. I mean,
Do it say?
pay 'em.
Do it say it?
Do it, pay 'em. It don't say pay 'em.
I mean,
It don't say
'cause
pay
it
'em.
don't sound like he. I don't know.
Wherever your church is able to get it. But see, I'm saying you will not come play for me for $50, and that's all I can afford. You go try to find. I'm giving the message. I ain't got and I don't have the spotlights. I ain't got the production, but I'm
Right.
giving you a solid message, and I love people. But you ain't gonna come play for me. You're gonna go play for $300 a Sunday over at the mega church, and then still complain about they ask for too much money. Well, they gotta ask for money. You asking for $300. Some of these churches got $7,000 to $8,000 salaries a Sunday
So
for
what?
one service.
Okay, so what about the man time though? They want him to be there on Saturday for rehearsal for the praise team and the choir and the kids choir for 3 rehearsals. On Sunday, they want him to be there for 2 services, and he got to be there an hour early for sound check. What about his time?
Yeah, hold on. Read. I see this
Yeah, let's
crazy guy, Mike John.
Mike John.
Read what he said, because I'm looking at my phone. I'm trying to keep it close. Get to read that foolishness.
All right. Pastor Brian is available for himself. Remember, God will use a pimping to carry out his vision. Eddie Long was once doing what was needed, and eventually God was done with his foolishness.
Mike John, you know,
Now
I see Mike. I see that totally different, man. I look at the what about the fruits of the labor? I see the fruits of the labor there, And that's what I have to look at now. If people come in, I don't agree with 100% of everything that man do, but I like the fruits of the labor. He's doing a whole lot more than some others churches doing.
Yeah, and that's all I can look at. What you doing for the people, man, and
And that's what
what you say. You say you the church, so I look at him for what his church and what the people that he lead is doing for the community. And every time it's a shortage of something or something's about to go down, you see Jamal Bryant at the head of it, um, leading the way, regardless if the man done did this or did that in his
and they
past.
talk about him. And they talk about him,
Yeah.
but he's really out here
He's
doing the
really
work.
out here doing it. Yep,
doing the work.
He's in the street.
He's doing the
in
work.
the street. So I can't really. I
With
can't really.
different podcasts, I stand with the man.
Yeah, I do. I do.
I stand with
don't-
Jamal Harrison Bryant.
Yep.
He don't even know me, but I watch your show every Sunday. I almost seen some money this week.
Yep. Let's get some of them comments too, cause I seen Stephanie came in.
Well, we got Mike over on YouTube. He said, yeah, as long as the church is focused on the word, it's fine to have modern tech. Then back over here, we got,
Okay.
that's not something that's spirit led. So you shouldn't feel obligated to give for the pastor's birthday. Let me see.
What was that?
Stephanie.
Stephanie? Do I see
Follow,
it?
follow what the word tells you to do and don't sweat it. Then she answered to your question about musicians. No, musicians aren't even a requirement in the church, honestly. Then we have Daphne with, if you pay your tithes and offerings, which is your reasonable service, don't let the pastor or church put a guilt trip on you. Have you
But-
you done what God has required of you?
I agree.
And to that point right there, do the Bible even say anything about giving like that to the church for real?
Yeah.
To the church, the
It's-
10% to the church.
It say your tithes and your
Does
offerings.
it say give it to the church?
You're supposed to give a portion
To the
yeah.
church.
because the church is what really is supposed to be helping the needy, the poor. It talks about the widows. You're supposed to be helping the widows and all that. But, hey, everybody's church is becoming a business. It's not really
Exactly.
established for that.
Exactly.
And it's grown to that. And I can see the structure to some degree because you got to have structure. And if you're going to feed them, you got to have money. You got to have money.
Yeah.
Got to have money. Let me see what Mike John, what do you think about? Because I was talking about the musicians getting paid. I think, oh boy, they're gonna hate me for this. They're gonna hate me for
Man,
this. Let me say this. They're gonna hate me for this. That was one of the biggest mistakes that the church could have made. I've been saying it for years. is to start paying musicians deep pockets. Because now you already had a thing of Negroes who didn't want to work. Now they ain't gonna do nothing but depend on the church.
Yeah.
They depend totally on the church. Won't go get a job.
Yep.
Want to come in and do what they want to do. Yeah, I think that was one of the biggest mistakes in the world. Mike John, what he say?
Stephanie got one too.
And I was a church musician, but I did not demand. I took whatever the church had told us they can afford to pay when I played.
Right. And that's my thing. Now I think churches
Now, I think my brother-in-law started out with me that way, but I don't think he like that now. I think he demand. I ain't gonna call his name.
Probably
I think he
demand.
demands a pay. He probably won't come to you either. Call me, I still will come. I'm not gonna be a skill, but I'm coming.
all right, what the comments? I think start with Stephanie. I think.
Yes, your tithe goes to the church. Helping the needy is outside of the tithe. Daphne came back with, I agree, the church is a business now, and it takes money in order to help the people or community.
That's right. It takes some money, and I don't have a problem with that. My problem is when these old sly, slick preachers start adding for the extra, and all time about is in the name of God. When you came here,
Yeah.
you already said y'all already made a discussion because I know some where we need to try to raise 10 tonight, and what I'm going to give you, if you raise 10, we're going to make sure you get 30% of whatever is raised tonight is coming back to you. Plus, we're going to pay you your honorarium.
Oh yeah,
Of
you talking about what they
$10,000.
tell the pastor?
Yeah, of $10,000. Then make sure you invite me to your church, and I'm gonna raise 30. I'm gonna get 30% when I come there. So I'm gonna raise the biggest office I can plus my honorarium. It is what it is.
So that's what go on in the back room. I think people might be confused on what
That's
you were
back
saying.
room.
That's what they say in the back, which is why during the service that extra guest guy comes out at the end and say, "We're gonna start out at 500 for the home pastor. He's been good to y'all. He's prayed over. He's taking care of y'all. But it's time to bless him. Let's start off at 500. Anybody got 500 to bless the man who's prayed over your car, prayed over your kids, and just throw all this foolishness in your face to get $500 out of you?
I agree. I agree. You know, no, I'm not gonna say that, Lord Jesus, because I'll be then you get they trying to tell you how to. A lot of them try to tell you, pastor try to tell you how you should do your finances. When we got some going to jail right now because they didn't do what they were supposed to do with their finances.
Yep.
Trying to tell the people, if you're gonna tell me how to live, lead by example. Like I said, I don't want a poor man to tell me nothing about how to do
Yeah.
my money.
That's why I say I don't care how crazy Jamal Brown might sound, what he say.
I love
I see
Jamal.
what he be
I
doing, and that's all I got.
The
Because
work
people
is there in
say
the
stuff
community.
all the time.
And we're
but
not being paid. I don't even know why we're talking about him. We're not
yeah,
being
it
paid
just
to
it
talk
was just
about Jamal Harrison Bryant, but I like him. I watch him. I
yeah,
like the work that he's doing in the community.
yeah.
He gonna see me at that church one day.
And what Mike John
Mike
got
John
too?
said something about. Go ahead. I kind of read what Mike said.
If the pastor gets paid, then it's okay for the musicians to be paid.
I agree.
Hey, that's right,
I
Mike John.
agree.
And
I agree,
because
Mike John.
everybody else make everybody else in that church make the pastor. So if the pastor can ride good, look good, and all that stuff, I think it's
Everybody
only
should.
right for
I'm not saying they
everybody
shouldn't.
who's able. Now, you don't stretch the church. Now, everybody in the choir or the praise team don't need to get paid, but I think the essentials that of a Sunday service
A skilled musician is high,
should
is
get paid.
worthy of his highs, and I think he should.
Because that's
I'm
the
not
stuff
saying
that
don't pay him. I'm saying
the stuff that people like listening to. It take time for these musicians to learn that music.
well,
It's
most of the musicians ain't learning it.
well, yeah, I
I'm
guess
gonna talk
some
about musicians in a minute. I got another letter on musicians. Most of them ain't learning it. They just skating their way through and demanding the pay. But what you should not only just be coming to church for the pay. If I was a pastor, I would want to see at least be trying to live the life as well. Because we were just gonna pay somebody just to learn the music. You can get a club. Well, most musicians in the church are club
Yeah.
musicians, ain't they?
very few that's not.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And they bringing everything that comes along with it. So I'm not saying not don't pay the musicians. I think they're worthy of the highest. You know what I'm saying? They definitely help facilitate the service.
Right.
They definitely help facilitate service. Let me, speaking of musicians, this is the last one, and this is gonna get kind of crazy. I went over it a little bit, and let me see. This is like a letter from somebody that's just really tired of their pastor, and it's short. Dear Split the Difference, I'm trying to understand something. My pastor got something to say about everything. If the praise and worship leaders dress too short, she can't lead. If somebody too late, they get talked to. If an usher not in order, it's a problem. But somehow the musicians can come in smelling straight like weed every Sunday and nobody says a darn word. So dress code matters, being on time matter, appearance matter, but smelling like you just left a smoke session get overlooked. I'm confused. If holiness, order, and respect of God's house apply to everybody, shouldn't it really apply to everybody? Why does it feel like some people get corrected while others get a pass because they are talented? Is it really leadership or selective standards? Now that's a deep one because, you know, I run a recording studio, and when I was going heavy, I think I have another buddy who runs a recording studio, and we were talking about, you know, we be trying to worry about the world of musician coming in the studio, and majority of the time it's the gospel folk. What do y'all what do you have to say about that now? Because, you know, if a pastor gonna be, the musicians get away with a lot. The musicians in church get away with a lot, and I agree with this person. If you're gonna get on the praise team, you know what I'm saying, and I don't know what to say about it, because I guess God don't really care if you smoke weed, because people still get the Holy Ghost off their music. I don't, but I understand what she's saying. If a pastor gonna be one way, you should be the all the way. What's your thought on it?
He might be telling them that they don't know.
No, these pastors, man, you
might
see
be
them.
telling
I've seen them get right on. Well, I have seen one pastor get on somebody. So do you think it would be right if they came in smelling like that? Now, you know what I'm saying? I ain't telling nobody not to smoke, but I'm saying,
No, I
even
definitely
in the
don't think
house,
they
when you
should.
get into the house of God, you at least
Nah.
ought to go with some reverence. At
Yeah.
least try to cover it up. Don't go in there smelling like a smoke bomb.
Yeah, I don't think anybody should go in. No.
But why do you think the pastors, nobody says anything to the musicians, even the congregation Why are people so afraid of the musicians of the church? That's what it feel like
Yeah,
because
don't nobody say nothing to the best athlete on the team either, do they? No.
why? Do you- is
You know, I
with
mean,
all these musicians
it's
out here?
right. It's very few people that's gonna say something. Like it's very few coaches that's gonna say something. Very few pastors. Hey, I ain't finna.
Mike John, where you at? What Mike John
You
got
know
to
what I'm
say about it?
saying? That's just how life is, man.
Oh, Mike John, I see you said a musician
The best get
follow
away from.
leadership. What do you mean by musicians follow leadership? Are you saying the leadership smoking too? More than likely, yeah. Then I'm not saying don't smoke, but I'm saying in our day, in my time, and like somebody said, people don't reverence the church, don't have reverence when they come into the house of God no more. It seems like that's
Yeah.
the thing. I wouldn't care if you, if you go
We
ahead.
got because we got comments. They coming in pretty good.
Come on, y'all. I'm sorry, my bad. And I got my
You
phone
good.
going off. Y'all forgive me. I'm so sorry. Catch
Alright.
up on some of
I
these
think
comments.
Stephanie started
We
with that
got-
long one right there.
If your dedicated service is fully to the church, like you don't do anything else, then getting paid is no problem. The Bible speaks of taking care of those whose life is dedicated to the service of God's house.
Thank you.
Like I said, I believe they should get paid. What Kyle said, I see Kai is on. Okay.
A lot of pastors smoke weed, so that's why they aren't saying anything.
Right, Kaya. Thank you.
Well, let me
But
ask
if I
y'all this.
said I would have been looking crazy. I'm glad somebody else did.
No,
say it.
I want you to voice your opinion. Keep on going. I want to know.
Well, they'll just think I'm an outraged youth if I say it.
No, you ain't no you.
They'll just think, oh no, he
You an ON,
said it
an
'cause
old
you
N.
want people to be
I'm an
comfortable
OG.
with
You
it.
got YNs, you got ONs, and you right in the
Yeah,
middle.
we got the ONs, the old and the Mr. Poe. What he got?
Yeah.
What Mr. Paul say?
Yeah, the pastor needs to be consistent concerning the discipline.
That's
Well, then, you know what? Mr. Poe, that's every pastor I know. Because 99, from what I see now, 99.9% of the musicians are smoking dope at some point. Now, I don't know if they're coming in the church smelling like it, but they smoking. Everyone that came in my studio on it. They own it. But I ain't got nothing problem with that. I'm saying taking it to the church. You know, you could be a hoe, but don't hoe in the church, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's a place of reverence. And if you are a pastor, and if you smell it over there, you ought to, just like you make the praise team leader sit down, you won't sit them down with you because you think a musician stop your service. You depend too much on the music.
Yeah, that could be true too.
You depend on, but you'll sit the girl down for a short dress.
All right. What we got on the we got some more. I see I'm just letting the comments come in. I think we had Stephanie again.
Musicians are privileged because church leaders put too much emphasis on music. They feel like they can't have service without music.
Yeah.
I agree.
He just said it. Yep.
I agree.
Agree with that.
I feel like they're scared if they say something to them, they could possibly lose them for speaking the truth. They say musicians are far and few nowadays.
They ain't far and few. They own musicians look up every week. Now, whether they can play or not, I don't know. But we got to, somewhere along the line, we got to, if you're hindering my service, then I got to let you go. And if you can't reverence God, if you don't have enough respect for God not to come into this place smelling like weed, what are the
Well,
standards?
all right. Here we go. It don't even matter. Half the people in the congregation smoking weed. If somebody smelt the drummer, they'll go up to him, hey boy, smell like that weed. And there you go. Now your drummer smoking with the usher.
And you're right.
And
you're
just-
right. But I'm
no, it
saying,
ain't- I ain't saying no. I'm not saying that it's a good thing, but
Who's
only certain people's gonna make it a big deal when the majority is doing it. And I'm just being honest.
I'm not even saying it's a big deal. I'm saying reverence. Who
Reverence.
who will stand up and say, hey, I don't care if you do that. You know, hey, like mama, you say, y'all might cuss, but don't cuss in my house.
I believe it was a funeral. One of my homeboys had a funeral, and I believe I didn't get to go, but I believe they said the pastor said something like that. You know, y'all do what y'all do, but
Y'all
hey,
stupid.
this ain't what are you talking about? Oh well, we got Mike right here too.
Puff, puff.
We trying to get to everybody,
We got
man.
a lot going on,
Yeah.
guys. He got 5 screens he going through. Mike, John, ain't nothing wrong with a little puff. Yeah, and I'm saying that. Don't But stop the puffing and the passing when you try. Don't pass it
On
in
the
the
way to
church.
church.
Yeah, on the way to church. Don't
Or
go.
yeah,
Don't take that smell inside the church.
yeah, that's not right. All right,
Somebody need to stand up. I'm sorry. Keep going.
what we got right here?
Mike said, yeah, the church is there to build up the kingdom, and just like anything else needs money to operate. That's a double standard. If you're on top of everyone else, get on top of the musicians too.
I agree.
That's true.
I agree. And especially if they want to get paid, then they should be held at a higher standard
Highest standard.
than would you say it like everybody in the church? No, they ain't everybody in the church because they're
not.
they are leaders
They are
to a
not.
degree.
They're not
They're
everybody
supposed
in
to
the
be
church.
ushering in the
I agree
spirit
with
of
that.
God.
They are not like everybody in the church. They supposed to be on the higher level. Yeah. Go. Yeah. Kai, I see she got another one.
Kai on fire today. Okay, Kai.
They know that it's hard to find good musicians that can hold the service together. So a lot of them just look over it. There should be standards in the house of God, but the standards have to be within a person.
Yeah, and I agree with that. So that's what I'm saying. If I were pastoring, my standards would be look, I can't stop you from smoking. I'm not going to even try. But when you enter to this house, we don't want to smell that in here.
Yeah, right.
I'd rather be
Yeah,
without
now
a
you
musician.
can make standards for your establishment.
That's what I'm
Now,
saying.
what he do Saturday morning before he
You can
come
do
to
all that.
rehearsal, that ain't got nothing to do. And Sunday morning, but in this house, I better not smell it or even notice that you on it or whatever. the
Don't
case
bring
may
that
be.
into my house because I'm
Yeah.
trying to create a pure as I
Right.
can atmosphere.
Right.
Even though you're going to be able to usher in the spirit under that crap.
And I think most most ones that do that, I think they'll understand and respect that way rather than you just try to cut them off. They hold, hey, get off of that if you're gonna play here. You can't never do it. I think most musicians will at least try to respect that.
I just read one of Kai. Kai said the mothers are buying the weed from the musicians. And that's the problem. You remember when I said in our day, Kai, and you probably know this, because I think you come from a holiness church background too. I wasn't holy, but I'm saying mothers stood on business. They didn't just let that foolishness go. We just let anything go in the church now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We just want to make sure we'll do anything just as long as the seats are filled.
Yeah.
As long as the seats are filled, we'll let anything go on in the church.
And see, some pastors think that that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Hey, at least they here, like you said, as long as the seats fill, I got them in here. They not out there, so come how you want to come. I think that's how a lot of people or a lot of pastors are looking at it now. Long as you in here, I don't care how you in here, and which is why they don't. And let's be honest, most of the music. Speaking of musicians, most of the musicians are young men, younger guys. So the pastor just happy to have them doing something constructive in there, whether they in there have tipsy, have
Well, I
high.
ain't gonna pay you to be.
You
I ain't
know what
gonna-
I'm
I ain't gonna pay
saying?
you to be in here doing that. Now I'm gonna give you a little offering, but you're not gonna get the highest pay.
Well,
Don't
they
be spending
some
that on Lysol.
some of them still getting them half paid. Oh, let's get some of these comments. We ain't got too much longer, y'all. Though, but
We supposed to be off of here.
we'll read these last few comments. If you got them in, go on and slide them in real quick. But we want to get everybody in.
All right, leaders have to be willing to leaders have to be willing to not compromise. At the end of the day, you are there to serve God, not your preference. Have respect for the house like you do for your job. So
Y'all stop smoking that stuff in church. You know you're going to church. You could take a minute off of it. You could take a minute off of it, man, and give God reverence. He'll bless you even more. He'll give you more money so you can go buy some more dope if you just reverence him.
See, no, that sound like that. That sound like some of the prosperity they be talking about. If you do that, he'll give you some more. It ain't necessarily say that. Definitely about if you stop buying it, he'll give you money to go buy some more.
Okay.
I think he said that. I don't know if that's how that worked though. But any more coming in?
we got come as you are, but you're not supposed to stay there.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Mike John got on here. We didn't read his comment. I'm like, Mike John, we mad that ain't nothing wrong with a little puff, puff, pass. You must be smoking. You didn't hear us say that, buddy?
He over there like that now.
Do you smoke, Mike John? Are you a musician? Do you love the Lord, brother?
I believe he's a musician.
Are you a musician, Mike John? You smoke, puff, and pass. Are you smelling like that gas on Sunday?
Mike
Are
John.
you loud, Mike John? Mike John, for those you know, is a guy on our Facebook page that's always getting us on TikTok. Y'all don't never see it, but if y'all check in on our Facebook split different, you'll see Mike John always come with some crazy stuff. We got to try to find out who he is and get him in the studio. Hey, Damien, it's time for us to get out of here, Rich.
Yeah, man, we appreciate all the comments, man. We y'all showed out on the comments today, so we like to try to get to everybody. I know, like he said, we got about 3-4 different platforms we reading, so we hope we caught everybody's comment. But if we didn't, throughout the week, he told you where you could go and comment on all our information. So please do that. Like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Stop smoking.
And this is another show with Split the Difference Podcast.
Don't
We'll
smoke
see
and go
y'all
to church.
next week.
Don't smoke and go to church.